everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Fallon, and today I'm going to be sharing the mini simple folded corners. This is a template that I got from my Fat Quarter Shop Cupid box, and a lot of you wanted to see a demo on it. So I'm going to go ahead and demo this today. Just so you know, even though the Cupid box was an exclusive box, the Fat Quarter Shop does have different sizes of these templates on their shop online if it is something you are interested after seeing the demo. So let's take a closer look at it. Okay, so I did get some squares prepped, but I do want to let you know I have not used it yet to make any blocks. I wanted to do this to make sure that one, I found the instructions given here, make sure that they are written in a way that is easy to understand so that it can be used right away without having to really practice and practice and practice to get it right. Some rulers are like that and it takes time to learn them, but I really honestly prefer ones that are straightforward and easy to use because I don't want one that's going to take up a lot of time to understand. So there are two methods in here. There's an oversized folded corners where you can see the block is larger than the corner that you're going to put on it. And then there are instructions for a no trim exact size folded corners. And that's where the block that's going to be your corner is about the same, is the same size widthwise across here. And you may have excess on the bottom or something like that. So it looked to me like this one, the exact size, is going to be the really easy one to use. So if you look at your template, there's a side that I want to give you the exact same thing that it says that it is. So this is the cutaway section, and this side that you see with a lot more lines is the trim section. So for this particular block, we're going to use the cutaway section first. And what you do is that line that's right through here, you line up in the corner, and then you'll bring it to the corner over here. So this is going to be for a 3.5 inch block. So it kind of lines up perfectly, which makes it a lot easier to use. If you are using a different size, like you need to do a 2 inch or something like that, you would bring that line over the 2 inch line and still line up across the top. So just keep that in mind. So when you line this up, you just trim across here. And you see that I have my background right sides together with the fabric that I'm using. So they're right sides together, and I'm trimming them both at the same time. So now what I would do is just bring it to the sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam across here. So I'm going to do that now. All right, so you can see I sewed a 1/4 inch seam across here. So now what I would do is just press it open. So it's not going to stay great. I'm going to bring my iron and press it. So there is that block. It does look like my sewing might have been a little bit off because it isn't perfect. So there's that. That's why maybe I like method that I would trim down a little bit more, because if my sewing isn't perfect, I can kind of trim and make sure the block still looks perfect. But otherwise, I found that really easy to use. So now we have the block here. And for this one, there is a chart to let you know what sizes you need to use. So for the oversized, I'm going to be using a 3¼ inch square. So my trim line is going to be at 2 inches. So I found this all very confusing, but I'm gonna go ahead and try with what I think the instructions are saying. So I have my 3¼ inch square here, and it looks like I need to cut it in 1/2 corner to corner. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then on here, it appears I need to trim at that 2-inch line. So I'm going to trim across there. Have a lot of little triangles laying around. And then it looks like we are going to find the center of each. So I'm going to see if I can see well enough if I just do that. So my center would be right here where I laid it. And then I need to do the same on my triangle, find the center. All right, and then I would sew a 1/4-inch seam across here. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and do that. All right, so I sewed my 1/4-inch seam across here. So I'm going to again press open and use my iron to press that seam nicely. And here's where we have to use the other side of this ruler. So this is where I kind of, it's like, I'm not sure where we're going with this at this point, but we're supposed to be trimming this corner to be perfect. And I think that it should be 2 inches that I'm trimming at. Yes. So since my square started off at 3 1/4, my trim line is at 2 inches. So the 2 inches goes right across the seam where I have the corner. So there we go. So even the more complicated side really isn't that hard to use. For me, I don't do blocks that much with the corners on them. I do a lot of half square triangles, but not too many of these. I can see where it could be useful, but I don't know if I would go out of my way to buy other sizes, because essentially I could just put the square here, sew corner to corner on it, trim it off and press it open. And I think it would be the same amount of work in cutting, in my opinion. Do I think it might be useful to some people? Sure. I just don't know that it would be something I would go out of my way to purchase if I hadn't received it in a box. But let me know what you think in the comments. I would really like to hear from you if you have one and have other uses for it or different things that it has come in handy for. I would love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.